Ay, 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 Joe could barely blow that whistle. This is the Easter egg roll at the White House today. And they managed to offend and screw up this event, offend millions of Americans, Christians, and screw up the entire day, and actually show this thing to be rather perverse. Sorry, but when you call Easter, what was it again? Transgender Awareness Day, or Transgender Day of Visibility. Give me a break. Enough with the visibility. They got the reality shows. They've got the daytime shows. They've got Queer Nation on Netflix. They've got, it's just too much. Too much, and we don't care. But this was, I think, deliberately offensive. The White House put their stamp of approval, again, on some Transgender Day of Visibility. You know what was literally off limits today? The resurrection of Christ. You couldn't talk about it. You could not. The children were specifically prohibited from including that on their Easter eggs. You know, there was a big contest, decorate the Easter eggs. They actually put it out, government applications, of course, everything's a federal case. You submit artwork to the White House and you fill it in, and they go through it and they figure out which ones they like. But here's the condition. They had a lot of conditions, and one of them was the submission must not include any religious symbols or overtly religious themes. How about that one? On Easter, you can't talk about religion. You can't, I mean, so it's all, you know, the thing about, what do you call it? The Easter Bunny, that's fine, you know, as long as you're taking care of business, of what the day really means. But now it only means, you know, weirdos in costumes.
So cute. How many Easter are you? Are you the President of the United States? Are you the Vice President of the United States? Are you a senior White House official? Are you John Kirby? Where's your wife?
All right, not funny. Maybe for the kids. I shouldn't call the guy a weirdo in the costume. It's not his fault. Although this person's kind of a weird. Those bunny rabbit masks that they were wearing at Christmas. What's up with that? It looks like that movie, the Stanley Kubrick movie, something. And they all wore these crazy masks. You know, I hear from the left, they're trying to say, well, Donald Trump did the same thing. No, he didn't. He did not. Yeah, they had the Easter egg roll. Now, they are maintaining that in the fine print of the application, it said the same thing about the religious theme. Now, he didn't okay that. I know that. But what's happening today is very much in line with what the Biden administration is. And if that actual fine print was around when Donald Trump was president, that just shows you again that the deep state is a real thing. And they are at war with religion, with Christianity. I mean, it's like they prepare all the paperwork and presidents just come in and sign the stuff that they've actually worked out. That's not democratic. And our country is truly not a democracy anymore, it seems like. Now, Trump did the Easter thing, but he also did this. He also had the nerve to hold up a Bible outside of a church. And we remember what they tried to do to him for that moment. Hey, you know who was right way before I realized he was right? Bill O'Reilly. He warned us that there was a war on Christmas. I kind of thought at the time, well, give me a break. It's a little bit overdone, Bill. No, he was right. And now it's a full-on, like, thermonuclear war on religion. Thank you, Bill O'Reilly. And thank you, President Trump. And quite frankly, wow, what do you say about Joe Biden? Oh, do we have this? Hunter was at the White House today. Hunter Biden was shadowing his dad at the White House at the Easter egg roll. Now, Hunter's children are like, they graduated from law school already. What is he doing there? What's that all about? It's Monday. It's not a holiday. I hear he's sober. I know he was working when he was drunk and high. So what's this? Something. All right, now this. President Trump, as you know, is facing all these bogus legal cases all over the place. And they're not working. In fact, they are helping him. We've talked about this. But they are actually scoring a few points here, the left. They're tying up his time. We talked about that. Also, the money that is involved. And for some, they actually take this stuff seriously. They don't know what we know, that this is a phony, fraudulent game against him. But something else that they might be thinking about, and if they're not, I think everybody should be thinking about. When they bring him into court, it's a heightened risk for his physical safety. Now, we love men and women in law enforcement, right? But you never know what can happen. There are a lot of people, great people, but it takes one disgruntled maniac to open fire, right? It could happen. You know, there are all kinds of people that, you know, he's around, they have guns, they're not the Secret Service, they can't be vetted like the Secret Service is vetted. And I think it's a real danger. And I think a lot of them, well, if something bad happened, maybe they'd be okay with that. Pray for President Trump. Pray for President Trump. And also, he is totally entitled to say whatever he wants about the judge, about his daughter, about anything. This is still America, right? Judge Merchan is going to at least schedule to preside over the, what case is that again? April 15th, 2 weeks from today, the Michael Cohen, the non-disclosure thing, Stormy Daniels, and the rest. Well, Donald Trump has pointed out that this judge has some issues, some conflicts. Let's go through them. And Donald Trump pointed this out on Truth Social. Words. Do you have a problem with any of this? You shouldn't. Judge Merchan should be immediately sanctioned and recused. Okay? Judge Juan Merchan, a very distinguished-looking man, is nevertheless a true and confirmed Trump hater who suffers from a serious case of Trump derangement syndrome. All right, I buy it. Judge Juan Merchan is totally compromised and should be removed from this Trump non-case immediately. All right? His daughter, Lauren, who is 34 years old, by the way, okay, it's not like she's in 4th grade, is a rabid Trump hater who has admitted to having conversations with her father about me, and yet he gagged me? She's allowed to do that, totally, but it suggests the judge is not neutral. And you're allowed to point this out. And what we just saw might be harsh, might be not nice, but it's not dangerous. These words are not a threat. And that's what they say, the word threat. They're lying to everybody, maybe even themselves.
Trump's words are clearly intended to intimidate, threaten, and incite violence against the people he names in the words coming out of his mouth.
Trump made threats against the judge and his daughter.
Running off his mouth and threatening a family member of a judge or a clerk of a judge or a judge himself.
Trump is doing what he always does, making threats, calling out his so-called enemies and their loved ones.
No, I just went through it. These are not threats. They're lying. They are misleading. This is like mass hypnosis they're trying to do. It's not true. And the level of dishonesty, I mean, this is previously a prestigious show, Meet the Press. A long time ago it was prestigious. And Kristen Welker, she's the current it girl of the moment, at least with the fake news. And watch what she did here. You just saw what President Trump said. These are not threats. Well, she lies.
He has made threatening statements about the daughter of this judge. Is that appropriate? Is it appropriate to be going after judges and their family members?
You know, Kristen, these are not threats. Do you want to read it? Have you read it? Yeah, it's biting criticism, but we're allowed to do that. That would have been a good answer. I would have been great on this show. But Congressman Bacon is his name. He's a Republican. Rhino? I don't know. From Nebraska. Here's how he handles that question.
I'll just say it this way. That's not how I talk. I'll lead by example on this. I think In my debates with my opponents, I focus on the issues, and that's how we win. And I think in Nebraska and the Midwest, we don't like the nastiness. We have a phrase here, Nebraska nice, and it's real.
I hope not. I hope not, Nebraska. You guys really say that out there? Kim Reynolds in Iowa is saying, Iowa nice. I hope that's not a thing. We're trying to save our country. You gotta be tough. Congressman Bacon, you know what you should have done? Hey, Kristen, that wasn't a threat. That was biting criticism, to be sure. And quite frankly, it's factual criticism. You want to see a threat? Go look up what Chuck Schumer did to Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Gorsuch when he violated federal law on television and got away with it.
I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you.
That's a threat. That's illegal. Donald Trump hasn't done anything light years close to that, all right? What Donald Trump does is constitutionally protected free speech. And people took Chuck Schumer up on his commands. Yeah, and this wasn't oblique. This was real. They showed up on the guy's front lawn. They rioted and picketed in violation of federal law. And then a maniac from California showed up with a whole bag of guns and knives and wanted to kill him. I can tie that directly to Chuck Schumer and the left. They're guilty of what they accuse Donald Trump of, and he's innocent, and we know it. And maybe some of them do as well. I'll be right back.